never comes. Few bullets left, Apache closing in. Woo! Insect cavalryman shining his harness, smiling for his recruiting of posters. Bit preachy, really.
Why not, if it's a message that
Prefer the pure, heroic image myself, like this. Da-da-da! The thalidomide kid. Ba-ba-ba. Fastest gun in the West. At the slightest impulse from his rudimentary arm stumps, steel hands fly to the holsters. He spins on solid rubber tires. And pew, 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 pew. Pew.
Well, that's a bit too sick for me. Give me a good message any time.
What's he doing here? I meant to do my Geronimo tonight, but Joe needed attending to, and by the time I got her in bed, it really didn't seem worth blacking up.
I've been painting.
I wore my old clothes.
Brian, you fancy saying I want you to paint? It's the only reason I take these paths.
How did it go, the practice?
Oh, blood, sweat and tears, you know. But it's coming.
I hear you mentioned Joe.
I said I had to attend to her.
You mean the usual?
We've got some drink, haven't we?
Right.
What?
You mean the usual?
A bit more than the usual.
What do you mean?
God, Cyprus sherry or Spanish cognac, Christ.
Brian, what do you mean more than the usual?
We had an argument. She flounced out and slammed the door.
No silly jokes. She's all right?
I'd rather not talk about it. Here we are all set for a civilized conversation, and you keep on about that poor crackpot. Spanish cognac, Freddie.
Thank you.
Sheila's parents brought it back from Torremolinos. You sure you wouldn't sooner have cider?
No, why?
Just you remembered you're a socialist. So many places you've got to boycott.
No, I don't go in for that. It's misguided. A blow against fascism, apartheid. Very likely. All you hurt is some poor peasant.
Well, Spanish cognac with instant coffee. High life on a teacher's pay.
Brian, your shoes!
What?
You wore your teaching shoes and they're covered in paint.
God.
Look at it. Freddie, what would Pam say if you got paint on your office shoes?
I'm sorry,
Can't
honest,
get it off.
love. I'll get it
What
off.
do you think? Go and change him, go on.
Well, I've done it now. I'm not going to paint anymore.
You couldn't have changed your shoes.
How is teaching?
Oh, we keep them off the streets, you know. Eyes front, hands on head.
Still don't like it?
Not exactly goodbye, Mr. Chips.
All the same, I envy you, really. In many ways, I often wish I'd been a teacher.
Instead of a rich and powerful industrialist. Yes, it must be lonely.
Rich? Where'd you get the idea I'm rich?
We're not rich.
No, you're comfortable.
Comfortable, yes, not rich.
Nor powerful. You've been watching too much telly. No. Hamstrungs nearer the mark. I'm like a last-ditch colonial, running things till the natives have got enough know-how to take the reins.
Is that so? Don't know what the world is coming to.
How are things on the home front, Bri?
Oh, much the same, you know.
Stuck in like Joe Egg?
Yep.
Look, perhaps I'm rushing in where angels fear to tread.
You always do.
But why don't you see all the doctor's money can buy and tell them you want another baby? To put it bluntly, ask why you're not having one.
We've had fertility counts. Is that what you mean?
You've done that?
Yes.
She was A-, I was B+. Must concentrate more.
Well done. I admire your nerve. Most people wouldn't fancy knowing, for sure.
No, especially men. You know, our doctor had an ex-major who turned really nasty when they told him he was sub-fertile. He wouldn't believe it. He kept saying, but I was in the Normandy landings.
I demand a recount.
Yes.
Poor fellow. How absolutely terrifying. How about boosters?
What?
Fertility boosters.
No.
I know a gynecologist in London. He did so well by a friend of mine, his wife's applied to be sterilised.
Georgina.
Shall I fix an appointment?
Don't mind.
If all else fails, I'll get the adoption machinery moving. And it takes some time as a rule, but I can put some ginger under the right people. And get it moved to the top of the in tray. You can always back out later if you find you've hit the spot. So, whatever happens, at least you'll have a proper working child.
2 children instead of 1.
She won't like that, Mum.
No, she won't. She likes to rule the roost, Dad.
Surely, my dear, you can see you're only prepared to give up your life to little Joe because there's no one else. Once you've got a normal, healthy baby looking up at you, smiling at you. Does she smile?
She used to now and then.
Often.
A real baby will smile every time you look at her. And she'll cry too and keep you up every night. And crawl and walk and talk.
Yes, I've seen them. And then... what?
Well, then you'll be in a position to decide.
What?
Whether to let Jo go into a residential school.
We've tried that too.
Oh,
Putting her away. Yes.
don't call it that.
What else is it?
She worried all the time, wouldn't let us stay.
I'm on the board of a wonderful place. They're not prisons, you know, not these days. They're run by loving and devoted teachers. They're hideously underpaid, but I'm doing what I can in that direction.
I don't care how good the nurses are. She knows. She was ill in that place.
Change of diet.
She was pining.
This isn't a hospital, it's a special school.
How's the time going, Pam?
There's a private house, trees all around.
There's a fabulous article in Nova about it. Do you remember?
No.
And if she improves, she can join their activities.
Activities?
Mouth painting, wheelchair gardening, speech therapy.
Better not tell her that, eh, Mum? She thinks she's very nicely spoken. One thing she does pride herself on.
Right, look, she wouldn't go to a special school, all right, even if you put some ginger under them. We've seen the place she'd go to. It's no private house. It's no Palladian asylum with acres of graceful parkland.
No Victorian Gothic even.
No army surplus. It's like a transit camp.
Except they're not going anywhere.
Freddie, thank you for trying. It's too late. Honestly. I shall have to look after her till she dies.
Or till you do.
Yes, whichever's first.
Is that possible?
What?
She could outlive you?
What? We know one. A man of 76. Just joined the Boy Scouts. They said they wouldn't have him any longer in the Cubs.
Right, these jokes. May I say my piece about these jokes? They've obviously helped you see it through a useful anaesthetic, but isn't there a point where the jokes start using you?
Fred, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to talk to Brad about...
Please, this first. Isn't that the whole fallacy of the sick joke? It kills the pain, but leaves the situation just as it was. Look, when we met again, how many, 6 months ago, you used, I remember, a striking metaphor describing the state of Sheila's mind. You said a cataract had closed her eye. Like your mother's net curtains, screening off the world outside.
Did I say that?
Struck me as so bloody apt.
So bloody smug.
But it was true, don't you see? And now, in my opinion, it's all gone arse over tip. Sheila's cured and you've caught the cataract. Shoot me down if I'm all